project. The roof at each Olive Day is over 25 years old, except for one section over the addition, which was a year younger. The MSBA last year had so many people submit proposals for funding that they changed the cap and they only approved projects with a roof age of 30 years or more. They told us to reapply the following year and that we'd have a better chance of getting funding. The good thing is that now the entire roof is over 25 years old, so the full project would be eligible for MSBA funding. The statement of interest period closes on February 16th, and in order for us to submit a proposal, an MSBA generally funds approximately half the cost. In order for us to submit the proposal, we need the school committee to vote that you're in favor of that. The Board of Selectmen also have to vote that they would fund the town's share, and they have already voted to approve that. So we're looking for a vote from the committee to move forward with the statement of interest through MSBA.
So do a motion to that?
I make a motion that we move forward with the letter of interest.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so move on to Ingrid's portion,
Yep.
as well as our
Next.
presentation portion.
Yes, we have Dr. Anna Tupper, Director of Special Education, and Alicia Whitehead, who is our lead preschool teacher, here to present their recommended changes to preschool programming and their recommended cost for tuition. And the committee by policy has to vote to approve tuition costs prior to us moving forward with registration. So you have to come up to the mic, though, ladies.
Come on up, guys.
We got it right here.
That way you get two.
Good, okay.
I'm good with that, no worries.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
How are you?
Nice to see you guys.
See you.
Great. So Alicia and I are here tonight just to discuss some of the proposed changes to preschool programming and tuition for the 18-19 school year. What I'd like to do is just reference maybe some of the proposed highlights in the narrative that I sent you. We also sent a graph. But just to kind of quickly walk through the proposed changes, and then if you have any questions, we can answer those. Does that sound good? Okay. So changes from this year until next year. Basically, the first change is that we currently have two multi-age programs. Alicia Whitehead and Jackie Buckner both have a multi-age program, which means that 3- and 4-year-olds are being educated together. We'd like to propose next year a single-age program, so having one classroom as a 3-year-old program and one classroom as a 4-year-old program. And so we'd like to recommend that. And I think Alicia can maybe talk just a little bit about why we want to do what we want to do with regard to that recommendation.
We've been doing the multi-age classrooms for approximately 3 or 4 years now, and we just find it most advantageous to both ages of kids that they are with a more homogeneous group. I think we're all aware of child development and how vastly different a 3-year-old learns than perhaps a 5-year-old. And although with differentiated learning and teaching, we've been able to accommodate that, I think we strive to always be the best and make our program the best. And so we just feel that we can really meet more of their needs with an all 3-year-old class or an older class.
Okay. Good. So then, the other thing that we want to do, and I had mentioned earlier in the narrative that we wanted to try and increase our capacity to program for 3-year-olds. And so currently, Alicia has a 5-day program. 4 days are integrated. That means that special education and general education students are educated together. And then there's 1 day set aside for education of special education students. So what we'd like to do this year is just have that single-age program, have it be a 3-year-old program, and then split that into a 3-day 3-year-old program and a 2-day program. So a Monday, Wednesday, Friday classroom for 3-year-olds, and then a Tuesday, Thursday program for 3-year-olds. So offering those two different options for 3-year-olds, and then keeping students who need more direct instruction, our special education students, from 11:30 to 12:30, either Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, depending on the program that they are currently educated in. Do you want to talk about all of that? Yeah.
That's just because of the projected list that we're getting from early intervention. You know, we don't always know if those children listed will need specialized programming, but going to these early intervention meetings, the districts come together 3 times during the school year. Their numbers are increasing. And so we're just trying to accommodate children that may be coming down the line, and that's just from one agency.
We've noticed over the past couple of years that our numbers have really gone up in our preschool numbers, and so we're trying to increase our capacity to program for more students. Yeah.
So by offering 2 different options, we
Exactly.
can take in more students
Yeah. Yes.
than having one
That's
4-day
exactly
program.
right.
We now have 2 options,
Yeah.
and we can
Yeah.
take in more students as they age into the program.
The third change is that Mrs. Buckner, moving forward for next year, we'd like to recommend that she have a 4-year-old program. Currently, her students stay from 9 until 12:30. We'd like to adjust the dismissal time and have the program run from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So we'd like to reduce it by 30 minutes in order to allow more time for direct instruction for our special education students. Currently, you know, with the 12:30 dismissal, the students aren't leaving until 12:45, and then, you know, by the time they have lunch and rest, and it's really not allowing for a lot of time in the afternoon for that direct instruction. So by looking at a half an hour, a dismissal time that allows for an extra half hour, we feel like it would be more conducive to the special education programming, and also meet the needs of the students, just in general. No? Okay, good.
So, just so I understand,
Sure.
so the reduction, the earlier dismissal time, the instruction that you're referencing happens after dismissal?
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Great.
that would be our non-integrated time for special education students.
Great.
Typically starts at 12. Yep.
Okay.
It goes from 12 to 2:45.
Okay, great, thanks.
Have we always been at the 12:30 end time for this, or for the number of years we've been at
This year we have.
This is the
This
first
year we
year we've
have,
gone
yes,
12:30?
yes.
Okay,
I would
so-
have to really look back, but I know the times have fluctuated over the
Okay.
years, yeah, so. But this year, it's been 9 to 12:30. Last year, I think the year before, if you recall, we started at 8:30. So we went from 8:30 to 12. So I guess that, yeah, it would have been 3.5 hours.
Okay.
In that program, and that was historic. And so last year, we changed the start time. We pushed it up to 9 o'clock so that our preschool teachers could really be involved in the curriculum meetings that are happening before school and some of the data share meetings, and so it's increased their capacity to participate in district initiatives. And so, yeah, and so we changed the start time. So, yeah, it would be reducing it, Thomas, a half an hour. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I think, yeah. And if you have
It is
questions
fairly
around that.
comparable to what other districts offer in terms
Yes.
of programming.
No, I was
It's
just
often
curious,
a
that's what I
3-hour
was
program.
mentioning. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yes. So, so historically, it's run from 8:30 to 12, which has been a 3.5-hour program. And so we are proposing a half an hour.
9 to 12:30.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. We have a whole menu of options, which is really nice, I think, for our community. And when we went back, Alicia went back this year, and she really kind of polled other districts to see if we were aligned. And we found that other districts are also offering a variety of options in terms of time, different programs for their special education students. And yeah, we are definitely aligned with what
Okay.
other communities and surrounding communities are offering. In fact, I think we, have a few more options. Yes. And finally, one of the other changes that we're proposing is that in the past, we have had a fairly consistent rate of $24 an hour for our preschool programming. That's how we've always calculated tuition. And so we've proposed a $1 increase for next year. We have not gone up in the 6.5 years that I've been here. We have not gone up on tuition rates, so we just thought it would be, a good time to consider that. Yeah. Yeah,
Very small.
yeah. The only thing I think it makes it neat and clean, and it kind of cleans it up a little bit as well, just in terms of.
More of an odd number than 25.
Yeah, and even some of them were like, yeah. So anyway, so I think it just kind of makes it neat and clean. Yeah, and we like neat and clean, right?
And we do offset salary from the preschool tuition. So I
Yes.
think it's, we have contractual increases, it's appropriate.
Yeah, and again, we haven't really increased our rates ever since we've started this whole menu of options, so. The only thing that we did say was we wanted to talk a little bit about Julie Gallagher's program. She there's several days that are missed due to Monday holidays and half-day release. So she has the afternoon 4-year-old program that runs from 12:15 to 2:45. And, because we have professional development that are half-days a couple times a year, and because of Monday holidays, her days, she ends up missing a few more than other classes. And so we thought we might want to exclude her from that equation, just because.
From
I think
adding
she-
the-
Yes,
the
exactly.
24
For the, yeah, keep her at
Correct.
24,
Same
keep her the
as-
same.
And keep her tuition the same. I think when we added
Makes
it
sense.
up, her afternoon class missed a total of like
Eight.
8.
Yeah, 8 to 9.
days.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
compared to the
significant
other
enough for
classes.
keeping
Right.
the same.
Yeah.
yeah.
Good idea.
Yes, yeah. And the last one we're still working on. So the Friday afternoon enrichment program has, we've run that in the past. Our preschool team has run that. We've had Miss Gallagher has been coordinating that program with some of our assistants, and it's been on a rotating basis. We've rotated through our assistants every Friday. Next year, with an increase in some of the programming options, and with Julie knowing she has a caseload on Friday mornings, that in the past, she hasn't had that Friday non-integrated, but she will have that Friday non-integrated, so she'll be teaching in the morning. We don't have her availability in the afternoon to run the after-school program. So I did reach out to Tony Davis, who is currently investigating whether or not she can offer the Friday enrichment through the after-school program. I do, just to be upfront, I do think that she mentioned it might be a challenge to staff it, but she's working on that, and so we might be able to come back to the table to further discuss that. But at this point, we are
Can't do it,
investigating.
is there some other plan to consider, or Plan
Well-
B will be developed as
Excuse me, what was your last?
Plan B then gets developed after if she can't do it?
Yeah, I know, I think that we would have to come back and consider whether or not we can, I think at this point, Alicia and I really looked at staffing for next year, and it's going to be very challenging for us to be able to accommodate that. So I think we would have to.
It used to be a 4.5-day program. It used to be
Right.
Monday to Thursday, full day, and then half day on Friday, because our preschool team has meetings Friday afternoon. Was it 2 or 3 years ago, there was an interest in offering a full day because, for childcare reasons.
Right.
And we were able to
Yeah, that's
accommodate
tough.
that so that it was a 5-day. I think if Tony Davis isn't able to assume it, we'd have to come back and look at costs, what the cost would be to operate that additional half-day and what the return would be in terms of interest for the parents. We're hoping to work with Tony Davis, but I think that would be a question the committee would have to relook at if they can't, because we don't have the flexibility. We'd have to hire someone to run that.
Right, okay. Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, so I can come back to the table and we can talk about some of our options for the aftercare program, the after-school enrichment program. It is, I'll be honest with you, it is a well, attended program, and we've capped it at 11 or 12 students, but, there is definitely
Interest.
an interest in the aftercare program on Friday afternoons. Yeah, so.
So you think it's about 11 kids in total that would be involved in the program?
So currently, we
itself?
have 11 students, yes, yeah. So we had 9 students sign up originally, and then we had 2 students who kind of came in after school started. They rotated in one in October and one in November, but it was on a rotating, yeah. So we've
We
had.
have the space available and the
Yeah.
interest, so if Tony is able to find staffing and bring it under SAC, that that would
Would
make
this be separate to the
sense.
SAC space? This would be a totally different?
Yeah, it would be in the classroom
At
where
HOD.
where the
Yes,
students
yeah.
work.
What is it
Yeah.
required, 2 folks because of the?
Would depend on the numbers of kids that are enrolled, what we
Yeah.
need for
Say 10 or
ratio.
11, would we
Probably
guess
2.
2?
Yeah.
Currently, it's staffed, Julie Gallagher is the lead teacher, and then there are 2 assistants that
Okay.
support her.
And that's historically what we've had in the program. We've had about that number. The first year we offered it, we only had, I believe, 2 students. So, we didn't run the program that year just because we didn't have enough interest. But since, we've had, a really good interest in the aftercare program, so.
And I'm sorry, maybe you already said
Yeah.
this, but due to Julie's requirements on a Friday afternoon going forward, would those 2 assistants also not be available on Friday afternoon? Okay, so we're basically missing 3.
Yes, exactly,
Correct, yeah.
exactly, yeah.
I think we've talked a little bit, we've had an increasing number of students coming in from early intervention, and we're required to provide programming as of their 3rd birthday. So our numbers are really high this year already, and our capacity to bring new kids in has been a challenge. So restructuring, we're trying to respond to that, but it makes it hard to staff this additional Friday afternoon. But we are looking at options,
Right.
and we'll come back with some suggestions once we look at that.
So I think we kind of have our fingers crossed for SAC, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that'd be nice, because I mean, it's just,
Well, it would be
Makes
nice.
it easier for
especially
families.
the working parents,
Yep.
that'd be
Yeah.
tough if they don't
Yeah.
have Friday afternoon available for
Right,
themselves.
right.
That'd be tough, so, yeah, hopefully we can work something out, so, yeah,
So-
keep the fingers crossed, see what that does.
Exactly, fingers crossed, right? But we will have a plan B, so.
Thank you. All right, so we need to actually
Vote
vote
to
on the.
increase the fees.
Yeah. And if you guys, I think too, if you want to just reference, I don't know if the table helped or not, but, it just talked about what we currently have, the changes that are being proposed in yellow, and what the program would look like for next year. So it was really just a summary of what we just discussed. The full-day program is staying the same, and that program is currently taught by Ellen Versprill. Any other questions? No?
Thank you, it's very helpful.
Thank you. Yeah, sure.
I make a motion that we approve the proposed tuition increase.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a third as well, good. Any further discussion? All right, so as noted, we'll check out the Friday afternoon option, so all in favor?
Aye.
Last, we have a proposal, that's for the MSBA. We have a proposal for a draft calendar for 2018-19. It's pretty much identical to the calendar for this year. The proposed start date, first day of school for students would be August 28th. The first day for staff would be Monday, the 27th. As we did this year, we'd be proposing no school on the Friday, the 31st, the Friday before Labor Day. The one change you'll note, we are also suggesting September 4th be a professional development day. In the new teacher contract, we have an additional professional development day that was negotiated in, and we've been notified the state primary elections will be held here on September 4th. So we prefer not to have students in the building in that day because of the public, so we're recommending making that the second or the additional professional development day in the calendar. Other than that, parent conferences, professional development days are pretty much listed as they were in this current calendar. The last day of school would be June 13th, with the 5 snow days being the 14th through the 20th. Any questions on?
I make a motion that we approve the proposed calendar.
Second?
Second.
Further discussion? Just read through this.
We did work with Rentham and Plainville again to align our professional development days so that we can share services and programs. So they also are proposing the October and January as their full-day PD days. And King Philip is also trying to align on some of the early release days as well.
Will Rentham, maybe also be the September 4th?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
so 3 of them then?
Yep.
Okay, that's good.
Interesting.
Any further discussion on this? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so now we're gonna kind of skip around a little bit. All right, so we're gonna postpone all of the committee reports.
And
then
informational
we're gonna
items.
revisit some, next month will be the bullying report, baseline and benchmarks report, and then the grade 6 report cards update. So we are going to move on. We've got a school partner renewal for the PTO. Just a reminder, you gave us a lot of money tonight, so.
I make a motion that we approve the Norfolk PTO as school partners.
Partner, let's find that one, that is 14. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Assuming no, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Then we just need to approve the minutes from our January 9th meeting. Mr. Chalmers, you were not here for that, or am I mistaken?
No, he was not.
No, it was not.
You were the only, so 4 of us were there for that, right?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
September, from January 9th, okay, do you have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then, following up, Tuesday the 13th is our next proposed meeting date. Does that work for everybody?
Works for me.
I think it works for me. Let me just double check.
Yes.
March 13th, good for me. All right. So we'll agree on that one, and I think we're adjourned, correct? Okay.
Thanks, everybody.